name is Peter Paquette. I have was brought up in New Hampshire, went to grammar school, high school, and college in New Hampshire. Other than about a 6-year period, I've lived here since 1956. I'm kind of semi-retired, not completely retired yet. I still do work with some ESOP companies, which I enjoy immensely.
Now, how did you discover Osher?
I got involved with Osher first course about 3 years ago. And sat there and said, hey, this is good stuff. Then I saw an opening or an email from Lisa King, and she was putting out an email looking for people with accounting or finance backgrounds to join the finance committee. And I have, at this point, about a 50-year career in corporate finance. So I thought it was pretty relevant. I put my name in, and the next thing I know, boom, I'm on the committee. And so I'm on a number of committees. I'm on the finance committee. I'm on the planning committee, which I'm now in charge of long-term planning for Osher, which is exactly what I used to do in the corporate world. What I worked on was the confluence of finance and planning. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. It's like all of these decades of experience are just kind of being used within the Osher system itself. And I'm also with Joan on this kind of ad hoc outreach committee, which was trying to determine what's the path forward now that COVID-19 has blown up our business model. We kind of came about because of, I think, Bill Sullivan and Steve Toffel and a couple of other people were sitting there saying we're reacting to the environment we've been handed, but we still need people to think about, well, how does that project into the future? So it was a group that represented all of the committees and a lot of institutional knowledge about Osher. It was kind of charged with kind of saying, okay, which way forward, guys?
What do you see that Osher will be, say, in a year? How do you see it, and how do you see we need to approach making any changes, etc.?
We were comfortable before March of last year in providing in-class or on-site kind of coursework with study group leaders. And that was a model that had been kind of developed and honed over a 30-year period. And then overnight, in mid-March, it got blown up. There was going to be no more on-site. And suddenly we were confronted with, now what do we do? And so I think that people really mutated almost overnight. And I'm talking about a matter of days to a couple of weeks. We went from, okay, our model is on-site, in-class study groups to we're going to be 100% Zoom. And I think a lot of things came to bear on that decision. I think a lot of positive things came to bear. You had a leadership committee that said, okay, this is the thing we need to do. You had a finance committee that says, financially, this is maybe a way to do it. You had, most critically, you had a core of study group leaders who said, I think we can do this. I think we had like 19 step to the plate between the winter term and the spring term, which is only about a 2-week break, and said, I think we can convert our courses into Zoom. And those 19 intrepid souls defined the path forward. I think they got a lot of support from the rest of the leadership committee and the other committees affiliated with Osher. But that group without that group, we wouldn't have what we have today. That was critical to it. And then I think the second group is the staff. They went from supporting a in-classroom group of people to supporting a Zoom presentation. So a lot of things came together that actually allowed us to present in Zoom format, which was a radically different change in our strategy. So the path forward is becoming a little clearer, I think, in most people's minds. And what we're probably going to end up with, I think, is some kind of a three-part course presentation model. One part will be in classroom. I think there's another group of classes that are going to be just Zoom classes. We seem to have gotten pretty good with this as an organization. I got to tell you, I've marveled at the ability of the staff to support the conversion to Zoom. I've marveled at the study group leaders who've stepped up. I've marveled at the effectiveness of Zoom for this particular Osher. But I think the third part of the transition will be to a hybrid teaching model where you have some people in the classroom and some people in Zoom working together. We haven't worked out how that's going to work yet. I think a lot of that is being discussed. There's some technology that we're going to have to buy as an organization to facilitate that. There's some training that's going to have to go on because nobody's done that yet. I think what's emerging in a lot of our minds now is that this whole Zoom thing has allowed us a lot of flexibility. It's allowed us to engage with study group leaders who are located outside the Upper Valley. It's allowed us to engage with members who have traditionally taken the winter to go to a southern climb. As of this past winter term, we had people on our Zoom courses from 26 states and 3 different countries. I think that the story we have here is still evolving. It's not polished yet. I see so much opportunity before us. If you take a look at some of the work that Lisa's been doing with the other Oshers, we have responded, I think, as well as a volunteer group can respond to what is a radically changed environment to operate in. We don't understand yet what we're evolving to.
Yes.
It's not a polished model yet. I don't, and what I'm thinking is it will never be a fully polished model because the technology is going to continue to evolve right under our feet.
Yes.
And it's a matter of how fast can we, especially as an Osher group, absorb these changes, both from a 4-point point of view, from the leadership committee point of view, from the staff point of view, from the curriculum and study group leader point of view, and then from the participant point of view. Because if you don't get all 4 of those to buy in, it'll fail. And I think we've had buy-in by all 4 of those major groups in a very positive way.